Hello guys. So in this video, we are going to discuss one of the most common question that often I get from the beginners, whether 1 year is enough to clear UPSC. See, at first glance, it appears to be a simple question, like I prepare for 1 year and then I'll give everything for that 1 year and then I write the exam and then will I be able to clear? But the real problem start, most of the aspirants are actually asking the wrong. Real question is not whether 1 year is enough. The real question should be, do you understand what 1 year actually means when it comes to UPSC preparation? Because when people say they are preparing for UPSC, now the next is going to be 2027 prelims, right? So when you're saying you're preparing for 2027 prelims, they just imagine that you are just investing 1 year from here to 2027 prelims. But in reality, even if everything goes perfectly in your favor, UPSC at least need a 2 year committing for one cycle to get complete. You need how much? You need 2 years. So let's try to understand the examination time here, and then I'll make you understand whether 1 year is enough or not. Okay, so let's go through this. Okay, right, guys. So June 2026. So you're starting your preparation in June 2026. Now, what is the timeline? So you begin your preparation here in 2026. Now, when is your prelims? Your prelims in this? No, right? Then comes your main. If prelims goes well, then if everything goes perfect, that scenario is what I'm discussing. In case if prelims went wrong on August, right? And then Jan, Feb will be the time for your interview. And when will be the result? Result will be like, so you have started now, you're ready to invest 1 year, but eventually this is going for 2 years. If everything work in your favor, thing goes in your favor, because you cleared prelims, you cleared mains and everything. Now imagine you didn't clear prelims. So you started in 2026, now May 2027, you result come in 2 weeks and then you will realize that you're not clearing prelims. Then what step? Either you will drop. In that case, you are just spending 1 year and after that you dropped. But then you didn't get anything for that 1 year. But from this prelims, again, the cycle repeat, you will be starting preparation for 2028. So 2028, the prelims is going to be in May, and again 2028 August, and 2029, everything goes in your favor. Minimum it is going to take 2 years. If somewhere you miss, whether it is prelims or mains or interview, anywhere if you miss, still you have to repeat, and then it is going to be this. Even if you clear everything, prelims, mains, interview, all in first attempt, it is going to take 2 years. And that is why UPSC preparation demand a completely different mindset. And you cannot think in terms of years. So what is that first quality required as a UPSC aspirant? If you even want to think about UPSC, that is, I would say, what you need is patience. Students struggle not because they lack intelligence. Everyone have that intelligence, but do you have the patience? Right? If not everyone, majority of you are intelligent and majority of you are willing to work hard. And we live in a world where everything is instant. You get instant food, you get instant delivery, you get instant entertainment. But UPSC does not work that way. So you want, if that is, you're not instant, right? So you may spend months for studying even just a single subject, but you won't see a meaningful improvement. You may write multiple answers, multiple tests, and then even then you won't see that kind of improvement. You may spend an entire life much later. Because of that, one of the most important quality that you need to have if you want to prepare for this exam, that is actually patience. And you have to treat UPSC like a full-time profession. See, question is, how seriously should I treat my preparation? You think about a full-time job, whether you feel motivated or not, you have to show up. Whether the weather is good or bad, you have to go. Professional commitment is what create consistency, and UPSC preparation require the same mindset. Preparation cannot depend on your mood, it cannot depend on your motivation, it must have to be. Now see, everyone talk about hard work, but hard work alone is not enough when it comes to UPSC. Hard work means what? You show up daily, you study hard, you study consistently, you put n number of hours, 16 hours. 40 work means something different. Smart work means you follow the syllabus, you understand the exam, nature of the exam, you study the relevant sources rather than wasting your time in unnecessary sources, you learn from previous year questions, solving previous year questions, if not the question ditto word to word, but the themes can be repeated, and avoid unnecessary distractions from your life. So many students spend so many hours just reading materials that is only marginally useful. What I need? Relevant sources. For that, I need to understand exam. For that, I need to solve previous year questions. And I need to not only solve or go through, I need to understand what is the demand of UPSC from UPSC previous year questions. So that's identifying what is worth reading. Everywhere, if you look at it, you find PDFs and material to read. But is that worth reading? Is that worth spending your time? That is what more important. Secondly, another one, imagine two aspirants. Right, let me show you here. You have an aspirant A and aspirant B. So both are equally working hard and both study everything that they want within themselves. But one will clear the exam and the other won't clear the exam because you are putting the effort and everything is there. But what is more important here is the direction, destination. A and B putting all the work, reading everything, but A is going in the right direction. But what happened with B is B just went in this direction. But effort remains same, reading remains same, everything is same, but extra work. A is a little bit slow. Just that A is going to take some more time to reach the destination, but A will definitely reach the destination because the direction for A is correct. Now B will never wrong. Right? So effort without direction, that produces frustration and you're not going to reach anywhere. Direction will also help you to answer various questions like what should I study? What should I skip? What should I revise? And when should how should I analyze my test? Right? And all these will be done by your mentor. That is why if you see my mentees, whether Vikas, who got 27th rank, or Rohin, who got 39th rank, or Sonali, she got 3rd rank, or Sachin, he got 41st rank. If you look at Kiran's case, it's a 6th attempt. If you talk about Rohin's case, it's 5th attempt. So the persistence, the patience came to us, they made sure that they are in the right direction. So they reached that destination, right? Because if you are right in the direction, if you are mentored right, then what happens? The probability of success will at least increase. You are going to be in the reach there. Maybe even if it takes some time depending upon that personal aspects. See, again, among the qualities that required for UPSC, grit. That is again, right, most important quality. This stands above setbacks. Do I have that capacity? Grit means continuing when results are disappointing. Grit means continuing when things are not going according to your plan. And many aspirants work hard when everything is going well. But when you get that setback, continue working even when things become difficult. And that's the difference. And that difference, in fact, often decide the outcome also. Now, always remember, failure is not the end. Look at Rohin, 5th attempt, last attempt. Till then, he's trying, fail, but came back with a stronger rank, higher rank. So every successful UPSC journey looks smooth from outside. But when you examine closely, fail multiple prelims before succeeding. Priya, if you look at it, my mentee, sociology mentee, she couldn't clear prelims for first 4 attempts, despite having very good intelligence, very good knowledge, but she couldn't clear prelims. Interview sociology in the first makes itself to 70 to 76 mark. So some candidates fail multiple prelims, and then in one go they will come out. Some repeatedly clear prelims also, but they struggle in mains. I've seen that cases also many. And some will reach clear prelims and mains, reach interview and get. So what separates the successful candidate is not the absence of failure. It is their response to failure, how you react to failure. Every setback is a kind of feedback to you. That's why that expose your weakness, that give you feedback. Every failure become information, and every failure is a kind of stepping stone. And every unsuccessful attempt that becomes an opportunity. Exam in the previous attempt, he might have to satisfy with some other rank, maybe 600 or 700. But he learned a lot. And in the next attempt, he got 53rd rank. So the dream, IAS itself, he got. Right? Different aspirants. Everyone is different. The personality is different. The background is different. So UPSC journey rarely look identical. It will also be different for different people. So you cannot have a same strategy or building. Another may clear prelims comfortably, consistently, but struggle in answer writing. Right? Another case may be with respect to interview. Some will perform very well in written papers, but face difficulty when it comes to interview. So the lesson is very simple. So when it comes to, and here the general effort is not enough. That everyone will do. Targeted improvement, identifying your weakness. And also, guys, a plan B is always important. One of the most practical lessons of having a strong plan B. Because having plan B, it doesn't mean that you are going to give up on this, or you will have an option so that you won't work hard here. Having a plan B means reducing your anxiety. It means ensuring that your future does not depend entirely on single examination. And a mature aspirant, he prepares seriously for UPSC, but at the same time, he remain about alternative opportunities also. There are many students, they try to take some trades also. They learn financial markets and they try to take some couple of trades and they survive, maybe by making 500 or 1,000 rupees per day from the market. right? So again, many aspirants start preparation just by current affair sources, and months will go. Resources keep increasing because you keep accumulating, but there is no clarity, there is no direction. So the real change is not, information scarcity. What is the bigger challenge? Sorry, that is actually the information overload. So how are you going to tackle that? You need to have clear understanding of the exam. You need to be very specific with the syllabus. You need to go through the previous year question. You need to understand what is the demand of UPSC, and accordingly, you will overload. So without a structured approach, the preparation is going to be chaotic, and that chaos eventually create burnout, right? And always, basics is very important. Every serious preparation journey that should begin with the fundamental, directly into advanced discussions. But this advanced understanding is built on some basic understanding. For example, if you take polity, before discussing the parliamentary reforms or legislative accountability or the federal challenges, what is Rajya Sabha, what is the constitutional structure, and without these fundamental understanding, what is the point in this advanced discussion? That becomes confusing only. And the same principles applicable to every UPSC subject. And what just one time activity, it happens in multiple layers. The first layer that builds your familiarity. Even when you are reading the polity, the first layer that gives you the familiarity to the subject. The second layer that improves your retention because you need to retain, you need to reproduce. And the fourth layer that improves your application. Yes, this is the way it has to be applied. And that is why we always talk about repeated revision, multiple reading, right? And that's very important. And aspirants, in fact, often feel discouraged when they forget things. But how to solve this? Repeated reading, layered understanding. Forgetting is very normal because we are human being, but retention is important, and retention comes through repeated testing. They'll try to test towards the end only. They spend enormous time in reading and studying, but very little time and effort they put in testing themselves. Without testing yourself, without improving, how you're going to get into that top level, and that creates a dangerous illusion. You may always feel prepared because I'm reading a lot, I have read all the time, but until your knowledge is tested, until whatever you read is not tested, you do not know how much you actually understand. Right? It identifies your weakness, it reveals that gaps in your studies, it improves your recall and retention, and it builds that exam temperament, and it also gives you confidence, and most importantly, into active learning. Right? Not only testing, after testing, you have to review your mistakes, right? So the real improvement comes from after testing, you have to review your mistake, take the feedbacks, move on. That's a mistake. Every test at least should answer why you're taking test. It should answer some question to you. What did I do well? That you should be getting to know. So that's my strength. What did I do poorly? Or future plan, right? So without review, these mistakes will repeat. And with review, your performance will improve. And most importantly, as a UPSC aspirant, you definitely need to have that critical thinking, and you have to develop. What do you mean by critical thinking? You ask better questions, you evaluate information carefully, you connect ideas logically, and looking beyond the surface level understanding. So the objective is not merely to memorize the information, the ability to think independently and analytically, and that is when you become a civil service or civil servant kind of material. As I always tell, if you need to be in the right direction, if you need to understand this exam, so the previous year question is the way to understand the mindset of UPSC. So if not, see, it is, I'm not saying it will repeat word to word. For your optional, it will repeat areas. You understand there are certain macro themes, there are certain micro themes. From there, they used to repeatedly ask question. So the previous year questions are in fact one of the most authentic sources of information. What can tell you or teach you about the exam? It is a previous year question that tell you what is UPSC priorities, what are the pattern of questions, what is the conceptual depth which is required, and the expected level of preparation. PYQs as a separate exercise that should become part of everyday preparation. Every day you keep looking at it. Every topic studied again should eventually be connected back to your PYQ also, or based on PYQ it here. And finally, you'll have to build an ecosystem for success. So UPSC preparation is not about books, it's not about materials, it's not about the PDFs or test alone. It involves discipline, revision system. You have things that you have learned and you keep retaining things. Testing, feedback, strategy, accountability to yourself. And when these components work together, the preparation becomes more efficient. And when they work separately, the preparation becomes create an ecosystem where learning, revision, testing, improvement continuously reinforce each other. So this is how your 2027 attempt you should be giving. So is 1 year is enough to clear UPSC? Only if that 1 year is approached with the right mindset. But even if everything goes right to complete this cycle, you need 2 years. So you're preparing from 2026 June, everything is in your favor. 2028 May is where it is going to end. If you are successful, approach it right. You need patience, definitely, hard work, smart work, right direction, and that's where we help you, and consistency. testing, continuous improvement, above all, grit. Because UPSC is not a sprint. Success often belongs not to the most talented candidate here, or not the most intelligent candidate here, but to the candidate who continue moving forward even when the journey becomes difficult also. So that patience, that temperament. In fact, that's the reason why every UPSC aspirant must have to understand, these are the requirements before you start the prelims. And that is why I also wanted to do this video, because many think that I'm a cakewalk. That's not the case. It's not test of your intelligence. It's not just test of your knowledge. It's test of many things. So that's about the session, guys. Thank you so much. I see you in the next video.